My name is Jennifer Ogilvy. I get to be your facilitator this morning as we set up for a brand new week. It's great to see you all this morning. Lots of good mornings in the chat. If this is your first time joining us, please drop a me in the chat so we can give you a big welcome. You are off camera, you are off mic, and so it is just chill. I hope some of y'all are still in your jammies and you're having your cup of coffee. It's just really good to see you. And joining me this morning, my co-pilot this morning, my co-facilitator, is the fabulous Maya Martin Glenn, coming to us from Colorado. I'm in Texas. And oh, good. We've got some jammy people sitting there. Welcome to our new folks. We're so glad to see. Yeah, you've got Maya and Jen on the call this morning. So we are gonna set up for a fabulous week. Make sure your chat, your net, you see that you're sending to everyone so we can all share, because these socials especially are the ones where we repurpose, we try new things, we give each other ideas for setting up our journal to make it work for our life. Now, you are invited to use these pages just as they are, but lots of us who have been using them for a while end up repurposing or tweaking some spots. And so you're going to get some great ideas. I've got a lot of examples to show you from our other Silk and Sonder family members who have shared in our Silk and Sonder community. And oh, Julie Hatton is my neighbor, Saxe, Texas. That's how you say that, if y'all are seeing that in the chat. I'm in Garland, Julie. So welcome, welcome. All righty. So let's just dig in, because this is the fastest hour, right? If I had walked, it would have felt like 3 hours. This one goes like 15 minutes. Here are our Silk and Sonder community guidelines, and you will see this when we are together, because we want to remind everyone that we create a safe space for one another when we are in these chats together. It's always about being kind and courteous to yourself and others. We support one another. If you have any questions along the way that Maya or myself are unable to ask, we're going to point you to customer care at hello@silkandsonder.com. Maya will share all of these links and hyperlinks at the end of our time together. This is being recorded, as are all of the socials, so you'll be able to access this as well as almost 700 other socials. If you ever want to do that, go back, pick something up. If you see something that you really like, I suggest sitting maybe with your phone or getting your screen capture keys ready on your keyboard and just capture some of those images that speak to you that you may consider using in your journal. I know, we're going to talk about our meal plan, and I know lots of folks save that space for something that, those are great spots for writing. And so they may put kind of their main meal in another section, like the shopping list. So we do feel free to, swap stuff around, use these pages as they are, or take some of these great tips from our Sonder family to change it up. So I have loved this month's theme of play. Many of you know I am a retired early childhood person. I was a kindergarten teacher for 8 years, and then I moved into the administrative part of things at an early childhood program that I was there for over 22 years. So I have gotten the luxury of having a little bit of play in my life almost every single day of my professional life. I think play is very important to one's attitude, and it keeps things light and helps us remember that it's okay to laugh at ourselves. Maya is going to drop a chat or a link in the chat to a really good article about play and how you can, why it's good for you, and how with some fun ideas for incorporating play in your different scenarios of life, at home, with your family, work, all that kind of stuff. And so, grab that link and maybe go take a look at it later. It's it's got some really fun ideas there. So anyway, in Maya's letter to us in April, she says play doesn't have to be left behind in childhood. Let's create intentional space for play. And I hope that is one of the things that you get out of our time together today, is that as we set up our week with all the productivity aspects of our life, that you are going to create some intentional spaces for play. So we do what's called a mind map. And in our mind map, this is your bonus content for coming to a social, for setting up your weekly. We're going to do a mind map every single week. It grows. It is based on the theme. And then each week we look at that theme through a different lens. So this, of course, we've got this awesome theme. And so we're kind of taking a look at how we're thinking about play. So last week we were considering, how do you play at work or in another organization? Maybe you belong to a volunteer organization. I am an early retiree, but I started thinking about some of the systems that I am plugged into and how I can bring a little bit of play and, be a little frivolous with folks and our responsibilities within those systems. This week, we are looking at our family, our friends, and our pets. And I just love this one. So that article that I mentioned earlier, I love what this quote says. Play is one of the most effective tools for keeping relationships fresh and exciting. Playing together brings joy, vitality, and resilience to relationships. If you're not having fun with the people in your life, you know how taxing that can feel. You've got to make memories, and play has a big part of that. It can also help heal resentments, disagreements, and hurts. Through regular play, we learn to trust one another and feel safe. And I really believe in all the things that this quote says. There's my page. I made it into bubbles because I think bubbles are fun. And my week, the way I'm going to kind of lean into answering this through the lens of playing with my friends and my families. I don't have pets. I have a grand dog that I keep. But I'm just thinking about, how do I fully embrace things like the birthdays and the holidays that come along, like really lean into celebrating that playful element of that, intentional planning of fun outings with my friends. We have, ladies who lunch, make myself have a staycation mindset, like explore new things with that, be a tourist in your own town kind of frame of mind. Um, One of my favorite things to do with my husband is working in the garden and having a playful attitude with that. Movie nights, game nights, cooking together, impromptu dancing. A song comes on, make myself get up and shake a leg. Vinyl record nights, just more dates. Watching cartoons, make bucket lists or bingo lists, those things that where we're intentional about creating that space for play, and then we check it off as we do it. And just basically the bottom thing I said is say yes. Just say yes. Get up, leave the house, embrace those opportunities for play. So I want to know, what do you do with your friends and family and pet? What are you going to embrace? I'm going to put on a song while you think about this prompt. Share in the chat as you're comfortable, because again, your inspiration will help others get that brain going, especially early in the morning. And I'll be back to check in after we work on this for a few minutes. Okay, there are some amazing ideas in that chat about ways to connect to folks who maybe are not close to you physically. Zoom, book meetings, playing games, sharing Wordle scores, those challenges. And then there's also ways that, there's stuff out there if we make ourselves go find them. So like restaurants that have trivia nights or live music or just kind of making yourself find some opportunities, and then maybe along the way you find some friends that love to play as well. So wow, the chat made me smile. There's a lot of happiness brewing this morning. Thank you all so much for sharing those things. So now we're going to turn to page 36, which is our rosebud thorn reflection based on last week. We're going to take a look at how did our week go. And when you're looking at those roses, those are the things that bring you joy, those accomplishments, those things that you're celebrating, or things that just plain made you smile. The thorns are exactly that, those kind of itchy, uncomfortable things that happened. Oftentimes they're health related, or they're a little sad, or they're very frustrating. What are those things that you want to hopefully be able to leave behind, those challenges that needed to be confronted, that frog that needed to be eaten, and then the bud? What is in your future? What are the things that you're looking forward to, those new opportunities? And oftentimes the bud can be as simple as today's a new day, or this week is a new week. It doesn't have to be these huge emerging opportunities. So just kind of think about what you need. I was very fortunate that I was smack dab in the middle of the solar eclipse this past Monday. It started off to be a very cloudy day, and the clouds broke enough that we were able to watch all of the things that happened, and then experience totality. And I laugh because as you get a little bit older, you realize your opportunities for such phenomenons are getting a little more limited all the time. And so we just felt so grateful. I told Maya I felt so small in such a beautiful way. It was just really cool. My bud is I have updated a project list, and it's a hobby project list. So all the fun things that I want to work on through the remainder of the year, I'm already thinking about Christmas presents and that kind of stuff. So I've got a new project list that's going to help guide me. And then my family of origin was kind of strange, and my brother and I've always laughed about how when we got our spouses, we also got this a fabulous bonus family. And he loves his in-laws so much, and his wife, my beautiful sister-in-law, lost her father last night. And so my brother called to let us know he had been ill, and I'm just sad. I'm sad for that father figure in my brother's life that is now gone. And it is a blessing. He was very sick, but just kind of weighing heavy on my heart today. So thank you for, I know, the love and good juju that you're sending out there. So share in the chat as you are comfortable with your roses, your buds, and your thorns from last week. And I'll be back in to check with you in just a few moments. I always enjoy this activity sharing with one another because it's fun to celebrate those roses and those buds that you guys share. But there's a lot of heavy thorns this week, and just want to remind you that when you kind of feel a little off because of those things, you do have this virtual community, and we get it, and we have this space for us to just say it and claim it, and we hold space for one another in those hard times that we're celebrating together, but we're also very aware that life is tough. And so thank you for sharing those things. A lot of you guys have some stuff that's really weighing on your hearts, and just a reminder, your Sonder family's here for you, and you've survived every single hard day that's been thrown your way thus far. And so just know that there will be light. It's not fun to go through it, but you got it, and you've got support. All righty. So before we move forward into our weekly setup, I want to remind you that the next page is our currently page. And that is that kind of mid-month check-in. Now, I will give you a pro tip. Katie, our facilitator, likes to use the currently page, and she does a weekly reflection, and she uses one line per week, because then like the fourth week of the month is kind of that transferring over into a new journal and doing those monthly reflections. So she takes a line a week to do this reflection, but I want to just, encourage you to schedule a little time for yourself to take a look at that currently page, work on it, kind of do this check-in where you are. Do you need to go back and look at your habit tracker? That monthly habit tracker, or are those intentions still the same? Or mid-month, do you need to rewrite an intention so that you're embracing what life is actually bringing you? Because it's okay to do that. It's okay to change. It's okay to change a habit on that habit tracker and carry forth, move forward with a newer habit that is maybe better serving you. Also, a hint is maybe look at play, the theme, and answer these responses through that lens of play. What are you loving when you think about play in your life? How are you feeling when you think about play? Do you have enough? Do you need more? So just a little reminder, carve out some time this week to take a look at that currently page and do a little check-in with yourself. So now we're going to dig into pages 40 and 41, the weekly planner. I always like to just throw this up here, especially if you're new, grab a screenshot. These are just not exhaustive, but a lot of ways that Sonder family will set their pages up. They'll use different spaces. One of the things that I do right now is I'm a big gardener in my retirement. And so I actually have sections in here about my garden jobs that I do every day, so I can track when I fertilized and that sort of stuff. So right now I'm using my journal to be a garden tracker. I'm actually putting that in the meal plan for the next couple of months as I'm tracking that. Maybe you don't want to repeat what you're wearing to work, so you track you make an outfit tracker. So any of these spaces can be repurposed to that. So that's a really fun list to get to start thinking about, what your week looks like. So we like to start with, okay, in a week from now, how do we want to look back and go, this was a good week. I felt what? How do you want to feel this week? Drop that in the chat right now. You can use one word, many words. You can throw a beautiful sticker or a quote in this space. I laughed because last month I kind of have started on a journey with a lot of protein, really paying attention to that. And so consistent was my word, and it ended up being consistent every single week. And so I ended up with a monthly word. Didn't realize I was doing that, but consistent was mine. I'm still kind of embracing that. I see less stress, calm, and present. Wants to feel Amy wants to be lighter, grounded, peaceful, comfortable. I was with Katie last night, and somebody said, I just want to feel this week. It was a rough week. They were blah, and I just want to feel. And so they just left it left at that. Yes, and I would, Tammy, you're right. I was consistent with being consistent. All righty, so I love what y'all are dropping in the chat. So we're going to think about now, again, it doesn't have to change every week. And if you have a word of the year, maybe you just use your word of the year each week to remind yourself to lean into that. Now we're going to take those feelings and start looking at our goals for the week and our to-dos for the week. And again, there's a lot of ways to set this up. You can go back and take a look at that intention page that you set up a couple of weeks ago. How are you leaning into those intentions? Can you put some of your goals this week to embrace the intentions you had, or those habits on that habit wheel? Think about, do you have a SMART goal or two that you're working on, that you're, really doing some deep digging into? No goals, like things that you're eliminating from your life. That's a really great way to frame this out. And then I'm going to show you a ton of ways that our other Sonder family takes 3 different categories and just kind of plugs a little weekly goal into a category. I think that's a really good way to set up these goals if you're struggling a little bit with, like, I don't know where to go with that. And again, look at that word of the year. What are some goals that will help you embrace that word of the year? So here's some great examples from you all. Tied into, some of these are tied directly into how do I want to feel this week. And love this one that's there in the bottom middle. It's basically how my 3 goals are being. How do I want to be? I want to be present. I want to be intentional. I want to be joyful. And so these goals will then kind of dictate some of the action items for that to happen. We've got delete, delegate, delight, mind, body, soul, mind, body, work, mind, body, heart. And then I love this one over there on the far right, the one to feel springy, playful, joyous. But their goals are set around bring a fun, springy attitude and perspective to self-care, relationships, and then the have-tos, the stuff that, the grown-up stuff that we have to do. You can also repurpose this space. If I love the one in the middle there that's got, they're going to track some weekly expenses. Maybe this was part of their money management intention for the month. And so they're putting this front and center on their everyday page to see that, and also tracking their screen time, if that's something. So they've kind of changed those, how do I want to feel, and the goals section up, but it's working for them. And that's the main thing. And then, you also don't have to set goals. You can just make your to-do list of the week, or you can repurpose it into kind of listing some 3 favorites, quotes, or maybe you make a little mini playlist, or podcasts, movies you want to watch, shows you want to watch. Exploring new recipes, new things you want to learn about, maybe put a bingo board in this space. So lots of great ideas from our Silk and Sonder family. And then we're also going to take a look at those to-dos. Now, some folks are so great about setting their goals, and then their to-dos become those direct action items for those goals, those specific goals. So you can see at the one that's there on the bottom left, mind, body, heart, and you look over to the to-dos, and how am I going, to focus on my mind? Well, I'm reading daily, I'm scheduling a doctor's appointment, I'm doing breath and meditation work. So really taking those goals and then doing the to-dos completely associated with those goals. So that's kind of fun. So all of those are set up in that way to where the to-dos reflect the actual goal. If your to-do list is super long, we always like to mention the Eisenhower matrix. This is a great way to take the big, long to-do list and plug it into these spaces. It helps you figure out what's important and urgent, all the way down to the things that you can delete. Now, sometimes deleting and delegating can be tricky if you're in a single person household. You have to kind of think outside the box here. So think about, like, can you do an online grocery order so it keeps you out of the store? You're delegating that task to someone else to do that shopping for you, and all you have to do is go pick it up. Or I know someone actually changed the delete box to the donate box. And so it's like the things that are going to be leaving their home. And they committed to pen and paper to make that happen. And then, the to-dos are always a lot more fun if you can make a bingo board, kind of gamify it. You can also divide your to-dos up into your different sections, like the self-care, the home, the health, working on a course, or your work to-dos, your home to-dos. And then some repurposing ideas. Just put a beautiful quote in this space. Maybe you make that to-be list. What do you need to be the best you this week? And then we also love the make a not to do list. What do you need to not do? The things that you need to eliminate, the stuff that is no longer serving you. And I'm team ta-da. I leave this space blank and then write in all the extras that I do so that I can give myself credit. It's like making that to-do list, and you do it like you write down what you did and then you mark through it so you think, yay, you did it. No shame in that. So let's work on these two sections, your goals and your to-dos, and share, what do you do? Do you change things up? Do you use this just as they are? What's worked for you in the past? What have you changed? Share with the Sonder family. I'll be back to check in just a few minutes. Okay. I love what Megan said. I just wanted to pop in here really quickly and say that it is important to celebrate those little things. And she says, I'm going to do that to Dallas because I don't normally celebrate those things um, that I do. So just bravo for that, Megan. It's important for us to remind ourselves how we need to celebrate the things that we do, those to-dos and those things that we do get done. Because sometimes if we're not making sure that we're leaning into that, we forget all the wonderful things that we do and that we're bringing to this world. So thank you for sharing that, Megan. I appreciate that. All righty. So we've got those goals set and the to-dos. And now some of those may trickle right on down into this habit and activity tracker. These habit and activity trackers for the week are awesome because they can be changed up depending on what your week is going to bring you. So we've got the big monthly habit tracker. Those are the things we kind of intend to do on a daily basis. And then this one for the week can be changed up so that it reflects actually what is going on in the week. And I love it because you might only set certain habits for a certain number of times. Like you see up in that upper one on the left there, they've circled the days that these habits and activities need to happen. And I'm just digging that one where the first line says eat well, and they're going to eat well Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday, and they're gonna have some fun on the weekend. I just kind of that's my vibe. I also circled their night walk with audiobook. So if there is a new habit that you're wanting to incorporate in your life, what this person did with that night walk with audiobook is this person has habit stacked, and I highly recommend it. That works so well for me. You take a habit that you're already doing and then you pair your new habit with it. That's a if you're looking at habit, in the habit world, Atomic Habits by James Clear. This is one of his number one hacks. It helps you be successful because you're making a buddy system with something you're already doing and something new. So I really wanted to point that at. And yes, as Maya says, she invented a new word, the habities. This section are habits and our activities. It's the habities section. Love that. Notice the one in the very middle there. They're not assigning a certain number of goals or days for things to happen. They're just color coding and tracking. And the very first one on there is eat the frog. And you'll see that a lot in Sonder, in our setups. Eating the frog, eating the toad is kind of that chore, that task, that activity that you don't really want to do, but you have to do, right? Maybe it's laundry for you. And so we put eat the frog. I'm going to do one thing every day of the things I don't want to do. So love that. The one that's over there in the middle to the very right. Not sure what's going on, but they are only tracking 3 days this week. And that means that maybe they're taking a trip. So I saw some vacation people in the chat. Maybe you don't worry about tracking while you're on vacation. The one that's in the bottom middle there, that's a fun gamification of your tasks and activities, your habits and activities. You do something 5 times, you do something 4 times, you do something 1 time, 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that kind of countdown to that. Here are some wonderful habits or activities for this space. This came directly from our Silk and Sonder Instagram. I always like to plug that. If you're on Instagram, follow. It's got great content that'll hit in the perfect time. It's always the right time of day for me, right? To hit some good Silk and Sonder advice. And then I sort of have this master list of a lot of activities and habits inspiration. So let's work on this. And I'll be back to check in with you in just a moment. All right, we've got some really good things set up for the week. Kimberly shared that, she started the habit of dinner at home, and that went on her tracker, and she started tracking. And she said now she consistently cooks at home 4 to 5 days a week. It just became part of what she did. And she says, and then now it's going to be transferred over into her monthly habit tracker so she can really shoot for maybe more days. But thanks for sharing how that worked in your life, Kimberly. And then Nicole said she's going to set a number of times that she intends to do these habits and activities, and that's kind of a first time in a long time for that. And what I want to remind you is, when you set these goals, you may have some blank spaces. And I like to say this when I do these setups: is your blank spaces are also part of the story of that week. So if something didn't happen, it's neutral, it's on paper, and it just tells your story for the week. Maybe you intended to walk 6 times and only 2 times it happened. Well, maybe that's the story of the weather. Maybe that's the story of just feeling extra tired at work, and you needed to embrace being gentle to yourself and maybe have a little more of a chill attitude. So those empty spots are also very revealing. They're neutral. They're not judgmental, but they help you kind of see the story of how your life is going. And if you set a goal or a habit and something doesn't happen at all, then that's also telling you that maybe this wasn't the right time. Maybe I need to figure out a different way to engage with that ultimate goal. So let's go back to walking. Maybe you wanted to walk 7 days a week and it happened 0 times. Okay, well, then what could you do to that habit? How could you change that up to maybe have more success? And it could be as small as, um, my gym shoes are by the front door, so that when you walk in at night, they're looking at you, and that might be a visual reminder. Oh, I'm going to go walk for 10 minutes because it's right there waiting. So maybe just tweaking how you approach those activities, and that's another James Clear hack. I'm completely a fan of all the information he shares. So now we're going to jump over to the second part of this weekly setup: the meal plan, mind body health plan, and shopping list. I'm going to share all the spaces at once, and then I'll put on some music for you to work on, and I'll go back through all these slides. So it's just that these tend to be the ones that really get a lot of repurposing. So I want to go through them again. Here's a list. It's not exhaustive, but some ways that people have used the meal plan with some examples. We've really embraced this meal plan for my soul. I love that idea about a little journal reflection. That feeding my soul. I just love that idea. Here's some other ways that folks have set this space up. Yes, as Maya says, the B side of the record album. The mind body health plan. Okay, look at how this Sonder family member is going to incorporate play every day. So taking that theme and putting it in the mind body health plan, being very deliberate in embracing our theme of play. And play can look like a lot of different things. It just kind of depends on where you are in your journey, what kind of time you have available to yourself. I would love to be able to go run, but that ship has sailed. I do not have knees anymore to go do that. So play looks a little different. It's a slow walk now. But it can be meditation, reading a book, doing your hobbies, trying a new restaurant, or going to a new place in your town, spending time outside, blowing bubbles, coloring. Just a reminder that play can look different. And maybe there's some space on this page that you can really embrace that idea this week. Here's how some of our Sonder family has set up this mind body health plan, and just kind of, collections of things to do that will be fun. Always a big fan of little bingos here. And then this one in the middle, this I how do I feel and what do I need? And that can be a morning check-in, like, how am I feeling today and what is that telling me I need to put into my day? But it can also be an end of day reflection. So you can take what you need with that one. You can celebrate the national days of, like you see there in the bottom right. How did I nourish my mind, my body, my soul? A little reflection. Maybe it's your cleaning list. Again, here's some more ideas. The 7 types of rest is always a nice thing to embrace. You may want to make sure that you're incorporating each type of rest, assigning a day for each type of rest, or you may want to take the quiz and find out exactly what kind of rest you need. And if it's physical rest, then you lean into how can you do that all week long. You can do something. I love the one up in the upper left, mind, body, health. I'm tidy and sleep, really prioritizing those two major things. And then I found those national days of, and I tried to embrace only the things that felt playful to me. We all know tomorrow's tax day. So I left that one off. That does not, it might feel playful for you if you're getting something back, but I left that one off. But tomorrow is Purple Up Day, and we wear purple to show support for the children of military service folks. Wear your PJs to work is Tuesday, National Banana Day. Lots of just fun things. And I love the 21st because as an early childhood person, it's National Kindergarten Day. So challenge yourself to maybe do something a kindergartner would do. Read a kid's book, watch a cartoon, or maybe drop off treats. What a fun way to introduce play into your local school. So there's just some ideas for that. And then that shopping list. This is a bingo board in my page always because it's just I love the grids, but just a lot of different fun ways to embrace the week. I always like to include my birthday week bingo. If you have something you're celebrating, make a little bingo board this week and celebrate a person, celebrate yourself if it's your special day or anniversary bingo. Again, lots of things you can do here. Quotes, a packing list, Wordle, chores, bingos. How are you filling your cup? All of these things are very, like I said, any of these can go in any of the spaces. And then finally, ask yourself at this very moment, what are you loving in this moment, this day? And I was in my garden all day long yesterday, and these are my chives. And do you see my little bumblebee? This little guy was just working so hard all day. And so I had to capture that bumblebee. I'm just loving, the garden. So I'm going to put on a good chunk of music while you work on these pages. Let us know, do you repurpose any of them? Are you using them just as they are? What's worked for you? How do you set this up? How do you like to set the spaces on this page up? And I'll be back in to check with you at the as we wrap up our time together. I always appreciate the support that you have for one another. Kimberly says, I'm feeling burned out. Help me. And there's some great nuggets there. Thank you for doing that. Yes, Kimberly, you can take that 7 types of rest quiz and maybe find out, where am I depleted? And maybe it's sensory, and leaning into what you can do to find rest via sensory. And maybe that will help combat some of those burned out feelings, if you're taking care of something that you can control, because sometimes that work stuff, you just can't control it. I was burned out and ended up retiring early. So I'm probably not the best person to ask. Y'all, I want to talk about our new stickers. We've got this beautiful monthly sticker subscription that will, go with your journal. And one of the questions is, can you write on them? And the answer is yes, but you're going to want to use, I just put it on the screen, one of these, a regular Sharpie that is that ultra super duper little fine point. You can see that little bit. And they write on those vinyl stickers. It's smooth, it's beautiful, it's permanent, it's awesome. Now, we don't want to use these on our regular pages because they do bleed, but these come in a million different colors. I'm always down for new colors, markers, coloring pencils, all that stuff. But they work beautifully on these vinyl stickers. And then one more hint for you is, I always peel the surrounding sticker part off. So then that makes my other stickers super duper accessible once that background is removed. That is a preschool hack. But it just makes your stickers very easy to get to if that background is off. So there's a fun little hack for you. We'd love to see your pages, your setup in Sonder Club. You're inspiring to others. Maybe folks can't make these socials, and so when you share, they benefit from your wisdom and your knowledge. There are all those QR codes that you see at the end of our time together. Maya's also dropping direct links into the chat that you can still do that, refer a friend and get a bonus, and your friend gets a bonus. When you upgrade to annual subscription, you save some money, so now you can buy the awesome stickers. And then we've got the social survey QR code there. The YouTube link is being shared in the chat. Bookmark that. That's a pro tip. Also, if you are new to us, keep that as one of your favorite websites, so you can go jump in there and see that. If you ever miss a weekly setup, the flow is pretty much the same, so you can always go and catch an older one, but still have that time set aside with the music, with the intention of doing your journal. And I just want to thank you for joining us this morning. It's going to be a really good week. I can feel it. We're going to embrace play. Thanks for being with us. I'll share my playlist in the chat as we close. Have a good one, Sonder family. See you next time.
Ray-Bans on, that sky's blue. Cannonball into the pool. Drinking, hand gonna act a fool like sha-la-la. Boombox playing that Third Eye Blind. Wife is sipping that rosé wine. I just lost all track of time like sha-la-la. My truck AC is broken, that Georgia breeze is blowing. I'm feeling easy going, that's right. I feel good today. Can't nobody bring me down. And I just got paid, and I think I'm gonna hit the town. Yeah, my problems can wait till tomorrow, 'cause I feel good today, yeah. Can't nobody bring me down, 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 down. Can't nobody bring me down, 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 down. Can't nobody bring me.
Excuse me, can someone bring the beat back?
My team won in overtime, and I'm 3 sheets on Bud Light Lime. Don't taste good.